Buck Facility, and we're going to be talking about the shits and the goods of Buck Facility.
Community to me is probably a group of people coming together to organise events and learn new things.
A community to me is a group of people who get together.
A community, in my opinion, is everyone who lives in the village getting to know each other, doing communal things.
A supportive group of people that are there for each other. You know you can rely on them. You know if they're down the street, they'll help you out. A good group of people around you.
Just a place where you feel comfortable and safe, and where you've got close connections and you know people.
Community to me is a group of people that all get along and have a sense of belonging and similar interests.
It's helped me build relationships with people. It's made me feel a lot safer being in a community.
Personally, Bucks has not helped me as a person, but it could help others in the community.
A lot of different communities have helped me. Like, they've helped me develop skills that perhaps I wouldn't have developed if I wasn't in communities. I've met some great new people, and I've boosted my confidence a lot from being in communities.
Not helped me grow at all, because I'm doing the same stuff I was 5 years ago, sitting around here doing nothing.
It's helped me to get to know the area where I live and make new connections with people and find out more about the place where I live as well.
In my area, being a young person absolutely sucks. My village is very boring. No one does anything. No one really speaks to each other, to be honest. It's pretty boring.
Being a young person in the area is quite bad, as there's not a lot of stuff for us to do.
It's pretty boring being a young person in my area. There's absolutely nothing to do. I don't want to go play bingo with loads of old people. There's nothing my age to do or similar ages to me.
It's quite boring. There's not actually much around Buck Facility to do for young people. There's the park for much younger kids. Yes, it would be nice if the dance school, it would be nice if it wasn't closed down, because I really enjoyed going and seeing all the people from around here. It was a nice way to bring people into Buck Facility that wouldn't come here otherwise. So they've come for dance.
There's not really a lot to do for young people in my area. There seems to be more of an elderly population, so sometimes it can be quite isolating.
I think a lot of the people my age and between my age think the same thing as well. All the old people in my village, they know each other and they speak to each other. But the people my age, I don't really speak to. The other day on the bus, there was a guy that got off at the same stop as me. He was my age, and he was saying there's nothing to do either. So,
Being a young person in Totnes can be interesting. There's not a whole lot going on a lot of the time, particularly when you take spaces like Jamming Station and even the skate park at the picture. It is a smaller space to grow up, and with a lower population too, there are less young people than your regular space. Because of this, and particularly within this space, you have a lot more of the elderly people, you have a lot more isolated community. So when you come into a space as a young person, and it's almost like you're just a few in a big pond, knowing as well that a lot of our young people do move away and then come back when they're ready to be back in this space. I think it can be quite almost isolating here, and this is why we have spaces like Jamming Station that really bring forward and bring people into group and connect young people together.
Well, being a young person in this area, it's quite open. There's quite a few kind of clubs and mini communities like Jamming Station and other things to do with performing arts that you can go to. I know, because I go Jamming Station weekly, and it's quite nice. It's a group of people outside of your school friends that you can kind of get along with, hang out with.
I think growing up in Totnes has been really beneficial to me in certain ways, but also quite limited in the sense that we're in a town and there's not always stuff going on, but community-wise there is quite a lot of like extracurriculars and stuff that can really help you grow.
I've had a bad experience with my local communities. Bad experiences because we just don't really get on that well, and we don't often do events together. I've had experiences where people believe that all the youths are bad and cause a lot of the trouble in the town, when necessarily that's not always true.
I don't really think my local community has helped me feel like I belong at all, to be honest. I don't really know anyone from my village. I don't speak to anyone from my village. We don't do anything together, so I don't feel like I'm a part of my village community.
I've had bad experiences in my local community, but in the local community next to me, I've had good experiences. In the community next to me, my good experience started when I started working over there. I got to know everybody in the local village. They quickly helped me to build my confidence. They helped me to better myself and work better. I take part in a lot of the community events in that village, where in the village I live in, there is no events to take part in. People don't say hello to you when passing in the street.
Good experience. Everyone is friendly. Yeah, it's just not much to do for people my age.
I've had no bad experiences with the community in Buckfastleigh. Everyone's very friendly around here.
I reckon with the local community I've had quite a good experience with clubs and stuff that have helped me grow up around Totnes, I think.
It really depends what kind of communities you're talking about, because I think with communities such as Jamming Station and other places that are designated to go, I've had really, really good experiences, but there's always going to be difficult experiences with friend groups and just people, like more of a social community than a like put together community. So
mostly the fact that everything in my community is for like sort of an older generation, so it puts me off going to do things, yeah, because I feel too young. I'm going to be excluded in that sense.
In my local area there's a lot of things that have held me back. The fact that nothing goes on, it's stopped me from getting to know people in the village, because how am I meant to get to know people, you know, if there's nothing going on? And just, yeah, there's nothing to do, so there's no opportunity for me to get to know people, so.
I feel like buses hold me back because there's no buses on time or regular, so you can't do anything.
Buses, they go every 3 hours. There's no way of getting out of here.
If I could change something in my local community, it would probably just be like advertising more events and like bringing people together. The best way, especially with young people now, would probably be social media. I think that's really the best way to advertise things now, because everyone's on it. If things were to be advertised on social media, it'd probably be Facebook would be the best one to use, because everyone uses Facebook, like between like a big range of ages, and it's quite easy to organise and advertise things on that platform.
I personally would change the amount of dry shelters there are for the town, for the younger people, and probably a cleaner place as well. It would feel like a lot more of a safer town and just a nice place to be.
Probably more fun things to do, really. Probably put something new in, just a bit of a new place, somewhere to go, really.
A few things I would change is I'd like everyone to be a bit more social, say hello in passing, or create some events that anybody in the local community could do together as a community. I would get a lot more things to do for people of all ages to take part in. I wouldn't make it so boring. We have a local village hall that anyone can rent out, but nobody does. Maybe we could do some sort of activity in it, some like regular activity. Nothing specific, but like something would be nice so we have choice.
If I could change something about the area, it would be More places to hang out, better places to hang out. I guess it helped me grow by not getting in trouble so much. Like, there's more stuff for me to do. Cinema, more shops as well. There's about 2 decent shops here. That's about it.
I think bringing more things into Buckfastleigh for younger people. I know there are sports fields, but a lot of them get closed and are getting closed. A lot of them have fees to go in. And more people more things for people that aren't into sports.
If I could change something in Buckfastleigh, it would be to add more community-spirited things to do together.
If I could change something, I would just make it so there's more opportunities for things for young people to do. Also, I'm obviously a young mum, and there's nothing to do for people like me at all. There's nothing for children. Yeah, there's just not a lot of opportunities going on really. So maybe opening some more clubs and like advertising more things where people can go. That would be really nice. It would just help me to feel more accepted in the community if there was more things sort of advertised, and also help me to get out and make more connections with people in the area. It'd be nice for something to be opened for young mums in particular, because I found like going to normal groups, it usually tends to be older people, and I sometimes feel a bit excluded and stereotyped. It'd be nice for something for other people like me, so I can relate with people and help break the stereotype of young mums.
There is always things we can do to improve the lives of young people, for sure. We could be doing 101 more things that could help, and ultimately I think you guys coming and asking young people, what can we do, is so important, because ultimately lifting up young people's voices and hearing when you say, what do you want to do? What could help? When you hear these stories and ideas come through, listening to them. I mean, we could do 101 things to help young people, but ultimately listening and hearing what they want to be doing is the best way we can help.
I reckon the best thing that like a youth service can supply, such as Jamming Station, is sort of independence for us. So I feel like when they give us more freedom and more independence, it appeals more to us, because we feel like we can sort of be more adult and be more we can have that sense of freedom, and then we can get to the next level because we are doing what we want to do. I think that's the best way to make sort of youth services accessible, is by giving us the sense of independence.
Yeah, definitely. I think belonging in a sense of like having a friend group, but also belonging in the sense of feeling like your interests are validated, and really knowing where you are and where you're at with everything, as well as just your friends.
So to be a young person in Buckfastleigh with nothing to do, you wouldn't feel included, you wouldn't feel important, you'd feel like you just pushed to the back of the pile, you're not thought about, they don't care about what you're really doing. Which is why I do think it is important for there to be more stuff out there for young children or young people to do.